everybody. This is Kevin Davidson, your host for Kevin's Corner, Real Estate from a Marketing Perspective, and this is episode number 63. And I'm excited about this particular episode because both of my guests are first-timers. And to be honest with you, I think I met both of them like 5 days ago, both of them. So really going to be a really exciting podcast. I have a well-known real estate agent as well as a property management company. So this is episode number 63. I always start my podcast by saying that if you are a real estate agent or a vendor in the Fort Bend County area and you want to be on the podcast, give me a call, 832-654-0527, or email me at kevin.davidson@stewart.com. And last but not least, I cannot do the podcast every week if it wasn't for Jennifer Smitis, the area vice president, Caitlin Korner, Demetria Devon, the escrow officers here in the Sugar Land office, and Wendy Santana, escrow officer in the Richmond office, along with our support staff. So if it wasn't for those guys, I wouldn't be able to do this. Now that we got all the, paying the bills and the commercials and the ads and all that out the way. This is Demetria Lee. I literally met her Monday, I went to her brokerage's new Sugar Land office to help them with a card signing event.
Yes.
And that's where I met you.
Yes.
So why don't you introduce yourself and tell them who you are?
Hi, I'm Demetria. I'll say Demetria Rochelle Lee because
She didn't tell me that.
I know. Because most of my family and friends know me by Rochelle.
Okay.
So they call me Rochelle, and when I hear Demetria, I know I have to get serious. It's business.
Yeah. This is a podcast. It's serious. So you are a real estate agent for Realty Associates.
Yes.
Why don't you tell everybody just real quick who Realty Associates is?
Realty Associates, we're the largest broker, and I've been with them for 10 years. They have excellent brokers, April and Steve. They're excellent. They keep you informed, well knowledge of the industry. Mm-hmm. We have like 4 or 5 locations now.
Yeah.
Katie,
I think it's 5 now.
5 location with the Sugar Land office. So we're out there. We have an excellent presence.
Approximately how many real estate agents are part of the brokerage?
I think 1,500.
Wow.
Is it?
That's a big number.
Yeah.
So if you're a brand new real estate agent or you're a real estate agent looking for a change, give them a call. It might fit you. So what about you? You said 10 years. You've been an agent for 10 years?
I've been an agent for about 10 years. My background is hair. So I was a hairstylist. Hair.
So you couldn't help me?
I can help you. So coming out of high school, I did cosmetology. So I did hair for 25 years, had a hair salon.
Really?
Yes. And from there, I was always interacting with clients, informing, educating clients, had a relationship with clients, and that's what made me step into real estate because I pretty much had a clientele just from doing hair, and they asking me questions about their family and friends, properties, and how can they purchase a home, and I was like,
they knew you were a realtor or wanting to be one?
Going to school to be one.
Oh, okay.
So they were, and the clientele, I follow a lot of them on Facebook, so they were very, very supportive, my hair clientele.
If you've been an agent for 10 years, you've been pretty successful.
Yes.
Have you been a full-time agent for 10 years, or did you start part-time?
I started part-time a little bit because I was still going in the hair salon. So maybe about the last 5 years full-time.
And so tell everybody, you got into real estate because of the relationships you created at the hair salon.
Yes.
But why did you want to sell houses as opposed to own a hair salon?
I think because, why did I want to sell homes? I think after my kids was grown, and I was empty.
Grown. You're 27. Tops 27 years old.
No.
Maybe 28.
No.
She might be 27.
No. So my daughter is 25 and my son is 30.
Okay.
So once
So
I
you're my
became,
age.
yes, yes.
Okay. We
So
won't
once
say what that is.
we won't say what that is. So once I became an empty nester, I just wanted to do something that was totally different. You know, sometimes when doing hair, you interact with a lot of clients, but you kind of get away from reading and writing, and being a real estate agent got me back focused, reading and writing and knowledge of the world, pretty much.
Awesome.
And I loved that, just being educated, and you'll just be surprised of what's here in Houston
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, there's thousands and thousands,
Thousands,
of homes
yes,
in Houston.
yes.
So, what do you like about real estate? What kind of real estate agent are you? Do you
Okay.
prefer to buy, sell, lease, invest, everything?
I like everything about the real estate industry, but I love working with buyers.
Okay.
Yeah, most people like this. I have listings. I love doing the listings, but I think working with the buyers is just more intimate. You know, you get into the lifestyle of the buyer, the needs, and learning about their puppies, just everything about a buyer.
In some cases, you're making dreams come true.
And you're making the dreams come true for them. So that's what I really like. And I like land. I like purchasing land, because once the person want land, they want land. It's like
exactly.
no games.
Yeah.
They're not playing.
Right.
So that's a good deal, when you purchasing land.
So I'm sure you can help somebody anywhere in the city and the surrounding area. But what part of town do you specialize in?
I specialize in anything south, so 59, 288, let's say Pearland, Richmond. I live in the Richmond area, so I'm very well versed in Richmond, Sugarland community. I grew up in Houston off of the 288, so I'm well versed with Houston area, the museum district, anything pretty much soft. I'm kind of stepping more. I'm getting a lot of calls from Cypress. Of course, that's because the industry is growing there. So I'm getting a lot of calls from Cypress. So
there's certain part of the areas of Houston, the outside areas, that are growing more than others.
Yes.
Cypress is one, Katy is one, and west of the Sugarland Richmond area is really expanding right now.
Neatville, yes.
Neatville, exactly.
Fulshire,
like
yes.
If what as far as an agent goes, if somebody comes to you and needs help becoming a home owner, say their credit is a little below, or they lack the funds for a down payment, or they just don't understand how to get into it. Do you have the vendor partners and the programs to help them get into new homes?
Yes. And that's one thing about me. I always educate myself so I can learn the new tools that are out there for my buyers and sellers, and networking, like with Stewart Title, to let my sellers know what was out there. But the moment I meet a client, I find out their needs. If they need, just to save up the money, because some of them just need to save. If they need a home buying program, or I can educate them on owner financing, just anything that they need. I pretty much have the tools to help that particular buyers.
The vendor relationships to make
with the vendors,
happen.
yes.
Yeah. Awesome,
yes.
awesome. So let's talk a little bit about marketing. You've been an agent for 10 years.
Right.
Sounds like that a lot of your business has been from referrals.
Referrals.
But is there anything else that you've been doing in the 10 years to market your business and generate leads?
Honestly, I think I did all the things: the social media presence, the like right now I have a big presence on homes.com.
Okay.
Just I think just kind of all the things. I've networking.
Yeah,
yes.
Some of the normal traditional things. That
just the normal
does.
tradition, yes.
So what social media platforms are you on?
Of course, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I think that's it.
That's it? Okay, so I'm going to put you on the spot right on the camera. You don't have a Google My Business page?
I have a Google My Business page.
She's like, no, wait, yes, I did.
And actually, we just did a class maybe like last week, and I have a Google business page. I think like a couple of years ago, and when I went to this class, it made me fall in love with it again. So I actually picked it back up and started getting my reviews again because I was getting my reviews on horror. So
You gotta
it
get
made
them
me
on
fall.
Google.
Yes, so it made me fall back in love with
Yeah, you gotta
with
get
my
them on
Google
Google.
Page.
Google's the first place people go.
Yes,
Um,
and it was funny because I helped my aunt with her property, her rental property, and I was like, let me Google my niece. And she was like, girl, you got you got some good reviews. And then I
Yeah.
was like, I know your niece out here working out.
Well, and you should promote the reviews.
Yes.
Get them on social media, get them on your website if you have one, and things like that. So, what about a YouTube channel?
I don't have a YouTube channel.
You're going to get one
Okay.
because we're going to start doing video, right?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. And then what about LinkedIn?
Of course, I have LinkedIn. I forgot
left
to.
it out.
Yes, I left out LinkedIn out.
LinkedIn,
Yes.
agents don't understand LinkedIn is very important because even though it's not a place that you would think that you would go and chat and have content and stuff, everybody on LinkedIn.
And
it's
I always
business.
post on LinkedIn. I post my open houses and I post.
Okay.
Yeah, I do post on LinkedIn.
So
also.
what are some of the things that, now that we've talked about this, that you might want to try in the future, marketing-wise, to promote your business?
Of course, videos.
She
Because I
learned
know
that
you're
about-
gonna.
She learned that about 10 minutes ago.
Of course, videos. I'm gonna have to break out my shyness.
That's why you
and
need.
do-
Well, look, you're on camera
Yes.
now. You're not
Yes. Yes.
shy. I mean, and your voice has gotten louder too since you started.
Okay,
So you're
good.
comfortable.
Okay. Good.
But statistically, the number one way to market anything is with video.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so, and you have to you can't record videos on your computer or on your phone and leave them there. You got to put them on the line, on the internet, and the best place to put them is YouTube, so the whole world can see them.
Okay.
Then
Yeah.
once they're on YouTube, each video has its own unique link.
Mm-hmm.
Copy and paste that link, and you put it anywhere you want to.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's very important. Is there anything else that you might want to try? Do you use a CRM?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Which one?
We have DeltaNet, and I actually use HAR's CMM too.
Okay.
Yes.
What about, do you know what a drip campaign is?
Yes.
Okay, do you do that?
I do. And over my 10-year span, I've did the drip campaign. The last one, when I closed on a home, I just did home sold.
Right.
So that was probably about 3 weeks ago. And
What about farming? Have you ever tried that?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. She didn't seem too excited about that.
That's not. Yes, I did. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
When was the last time you tried that?
I will say farming, probably about 3 years ago. One of my best ones that I did, and it was kind of like a farming, it was a magazine.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did was 100 of my clients, I had them mail out literally magazines to my clients.
Okay.
With me in there, and then I got a lot. I got your magazine, thank you. I got your magazine, thank you. So,
I got a magazine from an agent that uses us exclusively for title at my house in Pearland.
uh-huh.
And when I got the magazine, I was like, well, looky there. There's
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Check it out right there.
Yes.
She was on every fifth
She
page.
was a, So they
So-
did a good job.
So it's a unique idea,
Yeah.
guys. Get into a
Yes.
local magazine and market
Yes.
yourself.
And then I actually keep them, and when I do my open houses, I have them displayed.
There you
Yeah.
go. All right.
Yeah.
Display the magazine. People
Yes.
think you're a movie star.
Yes.
Now
Yes.
she's on a podcast.
That's now on a podcast.
She's really a movie star now.
Yes. Yes.
So as we wrap up this segment of the podcast today, why don't you tell everybody, if I was looking for real estate and I stumbled across you online or wherever I found your information, I give you a call, what can I expect in our first meeting?
Actually, I really like to just present me, just be down to earth so they can relax, I can relax. And like I say, educate them on their next steps. I'm big with next steps. This is what we'll look at the home. After we get on contract, we'll look at the home. We will prepare you financially, credit-wise, and I'm big on next steps.
So you set the expectations
I set
right
the
out of the
expectations
gate.
right out the gate. Yes.
And you can help someone with buying a house, selling a house, leasing a house, or investing.
Yes.
All of the above.
All the above.
Tell everybody again, where are you on social media? Where can they find you?
They can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, and soon to come YouTube.
And
What did I leave out?
Google My Business.
Google my business. Google my business. Google my business.
That's the stepchild.
That's the
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
I know
Thank
were a
you
little
for
bit-
inviting me.
You were a little
Yes.
nervous in the
Yes.
beginning, but you ain't got to worry about that.
Yes.
She's going to call me in a month. When can I do it again?
What I got.
Tell everybody how to get a hold of you. What's your phone number and your email address?
Well, once again, you can get in touch with me, Demetria Lee. My phone number is 713-894-7194. My email address is my last name, first name, Lee Demetria 909 @yahoo.com.
Do me a favor, just for everybody that's like me.
Spell out my
Demetria.
last name. Demetria is Demetria 909 @yahoo.com.
Awesome.
And once again, I'm with Realty Associates.
Phone number one more time.
713-894-7194.
See, guys, every week you get to meet a new awesome real estate agent. She's got 10 years of experience. She knows how to handle any kind of transaction. She has the vendors to help you. So if you're looking for a good, responsible real estate agent that's with Realty Associates, give her a call. This is Demetria Lee. Thank you very much for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
Hopefully it won't be the last time.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. We're going to take a quick break with segment number 2 of episode number 63, Kevin's Corner Real Estate from a Marketing Perspective with Morgan from Emerson Property Management. Say bye.
Bye.
Hey everybody, this is Kevin, your host for Kevin's Corner Real Estate from a Marketing Perspective, number 63, segment number 2. So I told you I had a special guest today, a first-timer that I met 4 days ago, 3
A
days
week.
ago.
I met you last Friday.
Last Friday,
Mhm.
okay. That's how fast my days go by. So this is Morgan. She is with Emerson Property Management,
Yes.
which everybody knows that knows me. This is where I came from in real estate. So for me, this is kind of cool. I like talking to other property management companies. But go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm Morgan, like he mentioned. He was spot on. I'm 27. Born
Really?
and raised in Houston, yes. With Emerson Property Management. But I'm their new business development manager.
Yeah.
Got hooked up with Kevin. He grew a really great property management company back in the day before Stewart Title. And
It wasn't that long ago. So
not
don't
that
think
no,
back
not
in
that
the
long
day.
in the day. Sorry, not back in the day. But he was working with some of my colleagues, and they got us connected now. And I'm ready to learn all the tips.
Yeah. So why don't we talk about that real quick? So your boss, who is
Margot Brofton,
and the owner.
Cameron Tope.
So Margot used to be the property manager, the manager of the property managers for Empire Industries, which is where I worked for 5 years, and now she went to Emerson.
And is now our director of operations. And
Right.
she's been in property management
Yeah.
since 1981, so we're
Operations
super lucky.
manager. That was probably what I should have said. And Cameron, I ran into at a. I'm going to give her a plug. Rachel Allen, one of her happy hours. And I was standing there, and someone kept poking me in the back, and I turned around, and it was Margot. Hadn't seen Margot in like 2 years. So that's where you're from.
Yes.
And all of these people that we're talking about know my previous bosses, Steve Rosenberg and Pete Newbig,
who I saw at NARPM yesterday.
Pete?
Pete, yeah.
Yeah.
I told him that.
Another ball-headed guy.
Yeah, I was seeing you.
You told him that you were gonna come, that you would come to hang out with me?
I told him that I met you on Friday the week before, yeah.
I'm just aghast at what did he say?
He said, how was it? I said, amazing. He taught me so much. No, I told him that it was great and that I was going to meet Steve at his next thing.
Yeah. Pete, if you're watching this, you're a great guy. Steve, you know how I feel about you. But so let's talk about you. Tell everybody, since you are, a lot younger than me and Demetria.
You wouldn't know.
Wouldn't know it. What were you doing before you got into property management?
So I've been in sales for service industry, sales ever since after school. I was just like you, went to school and did something totally different kind of prior. I went to Texas Tech for an education major, and I wanted to be a teacher. Yes, I love kids. I've worked with kids, nannying and prep type schools and all of that through college, but got a sales job really right after and have been in that ever since. Spa sales, dental, really always service type.
So is your degree an education degree?
It is, yeah.
So do you ever see yourself going back and following on that?
Probably not now with these days and times.
Really?
I mean, maybe.
You can't get rich being a teacher. But,
not even that, but just a lot of different things. But I've really just fallen in love with sales and relationship building as well. So I still get my kid time with friends and family and all of that stuff. So it's kind of a best of both worlds for me.
And so now you are the business development officer?
Manager of Emerson Property Management, yes.
So tell everybody what that means. What do you do?
So I'm here to get all of the great word out about Emerson. Cameron Tope, the owner, actually is an investor himself. He started Emerson, which is really the cool thing about us, because property management, I hear and now know, is such a pain in the rear end, honestly. And there's not a lot of good property management companies out there.
There's hundreds of property management companies, and maybe 5 that
are good and know what they're doing. And we're one of them, I can promise you, because he's an investor himself. He got his first investment property actually back in 2013 and was looking for third property management for his portfolio of almost 40 back in 2016. So he grew quite a bit in a short period of time. Couldn't find anything that lined up with his needs and values of what mattered to him with handing over his properties. And Emerson kind of accidentally started like that in 2018. And now we manage over 300 doors across Houston.
Nice.
With no business development in hand. So that was all word of mouth and them just doing a really good job. Margot being amazing. And now I'm here to help grow it some more.
So with you here, within the next couple of years, you guys should double your doors.
I mean, triple.
Quadruple. There you go. Awesome. So tell everybody a little bit about Emerson Property Management. And what I mean by that is, if I called you because I have a property that needs to be managed, what's next? What do you tell them? What tell everybody about your program? So
I can always do a free consultation with any owner to give them, kind of like you said, the step-by-step next process and the expectations from the start. But basically, we're full service property management. So we can do the leasing, listing and advertising of their properties if vacant. If they already have a tenant in place, we can take it occupied and go ahead and just start management as well. But because Cameron built it, again, we have some unique things about us compared to other property management companies that we just run a little differently. For instance, we're flat fee instead of a percentage of the rent for their management fees. We like to just get them locked in at that one fee forever and not raise it every year. Obviously, we're going to be raising rent on tenants and trying to get them more cash flow. So we don't do that percentage-based management service fees either. So that's a little different. And then you also have an agent referral program, don't you? We do. We have an awesome agent referral program, $350 per unit for any occupied units that we would take on. Again, tenant already in place and just management. But if it is vacant and we do the leasing and managing, we'll give the agents $1,000 per unit. And we will manage up to 4-unit, multi-unit property, so that could be up to $4,000. So if you're a real estate agent, you're watching this podcast, I need you to understand what she just said. Every door you refer to them,
if you get to manage and you get to lease it out, the agent gets $1,000.
And we have a 30-day lease guarantee. So again, some unique things about us because Cameron has built it. We will lease their property within 30 days at correct rental comp listing number, of course, but we will do that or cover their first 2 months of management services. So that's huge. We don't want it to just sit vacant and lose out on that cash flow or possible rent for the property owners either. So we have tons. I mean, I've seen already tons of agents that have had it listed for 50 plus days and nothing biting and then send it over to us. They still got to try, but once they do, they still get the $1,000 for sending it over and us doing the leasing after.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think last time we talked, you also have a tenant placement guarantee.
If we place that tenant, they go through an extremely strict criteria screening with us. So if we place that tenant and they were to ever first, our eviction guarantee, get evicted for any reason, we will cover up to $1,000 of the legal fees for the owner. Typically, in small claims, if nothing goes completely crazy, it's around $500 to $600, so that can cover it. But also a tenant placement guarantee, like you mentioned, if they were to break the lease or get out of it for any of the legal reasons that they can, whatever it may be, we will release the property at the cost of Emerson, not the owner, and obviously get a new qualified tenant in place.
And that's only if you guys place the tenant.
Of course.
If an agent comes to your property management company and already has a tenant for a property, the tenant placement guarantee doesn't go into effect. Correct?
No, because we did not place that.
You didn't screen them.
Yes.
Earlier when we were talking about what makes you different and things you do, you said you were full service. I don't think I heard you mention maintenance.
We do all maintenance. So we have a vendor pool of over 50 companies, very trusted and all screened and going through our vendor application process and everything as well. But some of them have worked with Cameron for the 10 years of his investment properties. And with our over 300 doors are at full capacity with our work at this time. So we get really the best pricing and highest priority. A couple studies they did last year was across the portfolio, we averaged 2 to 3 maintenance requests per property. We do a really good job of making the make ready and turnover process just what it should be. They're not sent out every few weeks or month. But out of that 2 to 3 maintenance requests, we averaged the work order price of $172. So again, really good pricing. Obviously for 2 to 3 times, that was about maybe 600 or so over the year. And,
spread it over 12 months.
Yeah, spread out over
25, $30 a month.
Exactly. So we do a good job to keep the owners in a good place.
And you guys manage the whole maintenance process, right?
Yeah.
So if a tenant calls you, they don't call the owner?
No, the tenant will never talk to the owner. So
Okay.
we're a complete point of contact. They'll have their appointed property manager, the owner and tenant, and have separate portals through Property Meld for all of our maintenance. But the owner will always have 24/7 access to check the status of repairs on those. Yes.
And how much is your reserve for maintenance?
$400. So
Okay.
anything less than $400 will get someone out immediately. We do keep our KPI for the maintenance request to time addressed under 3 days, 4 days absolute tops. So again, anything less than 400, which we're usually averaging, like I mentioned, we'll get someone out just really quick to keep that tenant satisfied. Anything more is whenever we'll get the multiple invoices and owners more involved.
Yeah, you'll let the owner know.
But our tenant renewal rate is 85% or was last year, and they're averaging to stay 3 or 4 years time. So we do that with keeping the maintenance taken care of.
Awesome. And tell everybody, if you're basically looking at a map, from where to where to where to where do you manage properties?
All over Houston. I mean, our rule of thumb is about an hour from downtown, but we'll go as north as Conroe, south as Galveston. west, I mean, we have a ton in Katy, but we'll go a little bit further than that. And then east, I would say we don't really go all the way out to Beaumont, but maybe a little bit more.
Baytown, though?
Or yeah, we will go to Baytown.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about how Emerson generates leads. And now that they've hired you, obviously that's part of your job description, but what has Cameron done up until now to market the business?
I know that they have, obviously, or we have a Facebook page, LinkedIn page. Cameron has an amazing YouTube channel that everyone definitely go check out. Yes, YouTube is definitely on. He has like a copious amount of videos on there. I think one every 2 weeks for almost the last 6 years, with just a ton of investment knowledge. So anyone watching, investor or real estate, investor-friendly agents, anyone looking for more knowledge on that, he has videos on everything from the good and bad deals and stories that he's had over his investment times, tenant turnover, pros and cons. There's a video for everything. So.
Did you ever do one on tenants, toilets, and turmoil?
Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if
he did. He got it from us.
Oh, really? Well, then maybe not.
Yeah. So, but bring that up. You should do that. Let's talk about real quick. And I always mention this to agents. If you're a real estate agent and you're not working with real estate investors, you should. Mm-hmm. But you can't approach a real estate investor the same way you do a traditional home buyer.
Nope.
Because what do real estate investors only really care about?
Cash flow.
Numbers.
Yeah.
Exactly. They don't care what color the walls are. They don't care if there's 3 bedrooms or 4 bedrooms, 2 baths. That doesn't matter. Okay?
Run this comp, and is it going to get the number I want?
Exactly. So an investor is going to approach you as an agent and say, I have, in today's numbers, $300,000 that I want to use to invest in a new investment property, and I want a 3% cash return every month. If you can you find a house that fits that model, I'll buy it. They don't care what it looks like. They don't care where it is. Yep. That's the only stipulation. When I was in property management, we used to use, and you probably do, if you don't, I'll give it to you, cash flow spreadsheet. So what we could do is all of the numbers of everything that anybody would ever need to know when you buy an investment property are already on the spreadsheet, and the equations are already built into the spreadsheet. So you put in the asking price up here, and you put in what your ROI needs to be, and you hit go, and it
I would
spits
love that.
out
No, you haven't shown me. Mm-hmm.
And so what you would do is an investor approaches you, or you can approach an investor, and you can tell an investor within 5 seconds if the property they're looking at is going to fit their business model.
Yeah.
Investors love that.
Oh, for sure.
Especially ones that don't have a regular real estate agent.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do use a ROI calculator, don't give it to the investor. If you give it to the investor, they don't need you anymore.
Yeah, just give them the results.
Just give them the results and go find them the property.
Exactly.
But again, we used to teach classes on how to work with investors, because I know a lot of real estate agents would call me and they'd be frustrated. I've been trying to work with this guy for 2 months and I haven't gotten him anything, and now he's ghosting me. And so we'd sit down and have a conversation about how they were talking to him and how they were handling the whole situation.
And they were treating him like a bias.
That was the reason.
Seller, yeah.
That was the reason, because you were treating them like a Mr. and Mrs. Smith buying their dream home. Mm-hmm. They don't care about that. So if you are seeing the podcast and you're interested in learning how to work with investors, contact Morgan, because she knows how to do it. And you can't, I've said this 4 times already, you can't treat them the same as a traditional buyer or seller. You'll lose them every time. So now that I got that off my chest, let's go back to marketing. What are some of the things that you're going to have Cameron start doing, or you're going to start doing for marketing-wise, to market Emerson in the future?
I'm doing some sponsorships at some CE classes coming up to just kind of introduce myself and get the word out there a little bit. But I am going through becoming a CE provider as well to kind of help with some of those investor-friendly based agent classes to just kind of build value and help out more in the industry that way.
As soon as you get approved to teach those classes, I'll put you on my calendar.
Perfect.
I mean, the day you call me, I'll put you on the calendar.
But yeah, just networking events. I'm all over social media.
What you all over social media? What does it mean? What platforms?
I'm on. Cameron's very heavy on YouTube with his YouTube channel, like I mentioned, and it's Emerson Property Management's YouTube channel. But we have Emerson Facebook. I have my own business development Facebook, kind of growing that there as well. LinkedIn, Bigger Pockets.
Oh, wait. Number 2 nugget that's worth $1 million. If you're a real estate agent and you've never heard of Bigger Pockets,
get on it.
Go look it up.
Yes.
It is Facebook on steroids, but for real estate related people, right? When I was in property management with Steve and Pete, our largest property management client, I found them on Facebook, on Bigger Pockets.
My very first PMA signed was from a Bigger Pockets lead.
So Demetria, everybody, biggerpockets.com, 2 G's.
They pay heavy for their Google advertisements or something, because they just find a lot of new investors and people getting just kind of newer into the industry. It must be the first thing that pops up when they look for a forum, and then they make an account and make a post. They have excellent SEO,
so that's why they're first thing.
Exactly.
But Bigger Pockets is basically a social media-like site that you can go on, create an account, and you can post to it much like you can on Facebook. Now, unless they've changed.
It's a lot of forums. You have to be very educational and responsive, and
it's not pictures of your kids at McDonald's on the weekend.
No, it's definitely business-based, but it's also not promotional. They have a classified separate forum where you can promote business, but it's a lot of just education, knowledge, learning, connecting, networking, but definitely a lot of knowledge. I mean, I've even learned a lot from Bigger Pockets since joining.
Letting people know you're the expert.
Yes.
Okay. So if you're posting on social media, you need to be posting on Bigger Pockets. Okay. Now that I interrupted you, what was that? What else are you going to do?
That's good.
You guys already use the CRM, right?
Yes, we use Lead Simple.
Okay, we
don't love it.
Yeah, I know. And you yourself are going to start doing videos, right?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So I'll ask you the same question I asked Demetria. If someone contacts you for the first time and they have a property that they need managed, how do you handle the first call, and how can they expect from you?
I'm going to ask them a few questions about their property. We do have just a couple of requirements or things that wouldn't fit into our portfolio. So make sure that obviously it's not one of those. But if not, then really the next step would be setting up a time for me to meet them at the property. If vacant, obviously, if there's a tenant in place, we can maybe meet somewhere nearby. But in person, I can go over everything, our entire process, A to Z, answer any questions they have. Primarily, we would like to meet at the property, again, if vacant, so we can see the current condition of the home, so I can get that perfect rental comp back for them. But yeah, just be able to get to know them a little better, find out what they're really looking for within property management, and let them know how Emerson can help. We'll set up a meeting.
For the investors out there, you do not have to be working with an agent in order to work with Morgan and Emerson.
No, we can definitely take it on, and do the leasing. It's all of our team is Texas licensed real estate agents. But for that realtor referral program, something good to know, it's that $350 for occupied or $1,000 for vacant, but we never do any buying or selling transactions. We always send them back to you guys, and it's literally in our management agreement, section 25. They put the agent's name and license number and everything, so we send that back to you.
That's very important, real estate agents, because when I first got into property management in 2014 and I started going out and meeting agents, that was the first thing they said. We don't like property management companies. And it was because property management companies traditionally would steal their clients. You would refer us to a property management client, we'd manage the property, and then the property manager would let us know, I'm going to sell, and the property management company would list the property, and then the agent would be like, well, wait a minute, that was my client. So they did what we did, which is basically they guarantee that if an agent refers the property to them and the owner decides to sell, you guys are going to contact the agent that referred it for first right of refusal to relist the property.
Exactly.
Okay, there's not too many property management companies, if maybe a couple, that do that. It's very important. Tell everybody. You already told everybody what social media platforms you're on. What's the Emerson property management website?
EmersonPropertyManagement.com.
Emerson
propertymanagement.com. My number you can reach me at is 832-770-7090, and email is Morgan, MORGAN, at Cameron made all of our emails, emersonpropertymanagement.com. So you'll have to type all that out. But Morgan at Emerson Property Management, you can reach me.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being on the podcast.
Of course. Thank you,
nice
Kevin.
Nice to meet you. We just
Thank
meet you
you.
a way to go. So if you're looking for a great real estate agent, contact Demetria. If you're looking for a great property management company, talk to Morgan. If you have any questions, give them a call. These guys are great at what they do in real estate and property management. And a lot of what Cameron is doing now, Cameron took from when I was at Empire Industries. So I know they're doing a great job because we were the fastest growing property management company in the country at the time. So Morgan with Emerson Property.
Emerson.
Emerson Property Management. Give me your phone number one more time.
832-770-7090.
Awesome, guys. Well, thanks for being on the podcast. This is episode number 63 of Kevin's Corner, Real Estate from a Marketing Perspective. Again, if you're watching and you're an agent or a vendor that operates in the Fort Bend County area and you want to be on the podcast, give me a call, 832-654-0527. And as always, thank you to Jennifer Smitis, Caitlin Korner, Devaney Devin, and Wendy Santana, and all my support team here at Stewart Title, Sugarland, and Richmond. And I always end the podcast by saying, if you're a real estate agent and you're not using Stewart Title for title, shame on you. We'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Say bye.
Bye. Thank you.